In a nondescript shed in an undisclosed location, potentially under the watchful eye of intelligence agencies, three lifelong friends bring to you a podcast of epic proportions. The world will never be the same. This is the Shed Sessions.
Hello and welcome to the Shed Sessions, the podcast with 3 saps but no syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah.
Syrup.
All right, what do you guys say we make a little syrup right now?
Let's do it.
I'm down.
My name's Jesse, and since you should never go into the shed alone, with me here, as always, are the sweetest guys I know. Nate and Treadwell, say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
There they are. How you guys doing?
Good.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Had a good week.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah, you too. A little nicer, huh? Since
Yes.
Last week, we're about 30 degrees higher, probably. Man, even this time
Yeah,
of
it
night.
feels about 300 degrees
Yeah.
hotter in the shed, though.
Right?
Yes, the
Shed
wood
is
stove
roasting. Yeah.
Definitely heats it up when it's not cold out.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. This is going to be our Made in Maine episode, since we all live in Maine and love it here, and we wanted to talk about some interesting things that are going on in Maine, especially since it is the 199th birthday of Maine coming right this
Tomorrow.
month. Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow, the
15th.
15th. So that was 1820,
Yeah.
March 15th.
We
So
won our independence from Massachusetts in the
Yeah.
Maine-Massachusetts War.
Happy birthday, Maine.
Yeah. So it's 199 years old, actually. So next year we're shooting for the big 200.
Bicentennial.
Yeah,
Maine's an old bastard.
yeah. True. So that's actually what we were kind of thinking about, how old it was, which means a lot of the cemeteries here are old, too.
Yeah, I love cemeteries. They're actually like one of my favorite places to be.
Yeah, they're really cool. A lot of history, considering that Maine's almost 200 years old, and even before that, like Vikings and stuff were coming here. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
like it has some of the oldest cemeteries in America for sure, and definitely one of the second oldest is Mount Hope, right in Bangor, right?
Yeah, well, it's not the second oldest cemetery, but it's the second oldest garden cemetery.
Garden cemetery.
Which is what we started to build when, in the early 1800s. It was actually 1834 that it was built. 1836 it was consecrated. It was built more to commune with the dead after they were gone. There was
Lots of mausoleums.
Right, there were mausoleums and benches and different places you could go to hang out. Bridges and ponds and whatnot.
Yeah, they started making them more of a place that you could,
Chill with the dead.
relax. Yeah, you could commune more with the dead and be in a more open space that was less maybe depressing. And
I mean, well, there's 30,000 dead people there, so it's still kind of depressing.
Now, it's
Totally.
the second oldest garden cemetery. Did you happen to find out how many
Yep.
garden cemeteries there are?
Oh, I have no idea how many there are now. But Mount Auburn in Cambridge, Mass. is the number one. It's got Ben Franklin in it.
oh yeah,
Old Benji.
yeah, another very old state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never a president, Ben Franklin.
No, he never tried, did he?
Yeah.
No.
I think he was too busy with other things.
Yeah. So talking about Mount Hope Cemetery, you had a few things that you wanted to
Yeah, there's
mention
some
about
cool-
Mount Hope, right?
there's some
it's
cool
got a lot
stuff.
of history there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some cool people that are buried there. Hannibal Hamlin, Abraham Lincoln's first vice president, is buried there.
Okay,
VP.
yeah. Yeah.
His-
VP right here.
The Veep, yeah.
VP
Hannibal
Hamlin.
Hamlin from Hamden. His kids actually
The original
saw-
Triple H.
His kids actually saw Lincoln get shot at Ford's Theater.
They did.
Now,
Wow, so they were there in attendance.
Yep. And another guy is Frederick Hill, and he actually built what's known as the Hill Mausoleum. And it's him and his wife and his mother-in-law. He moved his mother-in-law there from Mount Auburn, actually. And it's this cool, really cool granite structure with marble floors and this wrought iron gate. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been up.
And there's a dozen roses in there. and he left $50,000 in a trust for there to be a dozen roses twice a week put there for his wife for for
Until
in perpetuity,
Uh-huh.
and they
Until
still,
further notice.
right
Yeah.
until someone comes and says don't. So and so that I thought that was a pretty cool story.
Yeah,
that
same.
was
Yeah.
$50,000 back then. Now it's
Well, he died 100 years ago, 99
Uh-huh.
years ago. So
Right.
And it was it's a fully built mausoleum.
Yeah.
Or is it just a tombstone or
no, it's a full on mausoleum. It's a granite structure with the 3 coffins inside,
Uh-huh.
and then but like it's 18 feet across, easy.
Yeah, it's good size.
Yeah, with a couple of steps leading up
Yeah.
to it. Like
Uh-huh.
it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't remember seeing it. I don't think I've ever gone into there to explore really what it.
Yeah, you really should.
Yeah.
Treadwell and I actually did a ghost hunting trip there one night.
Yeah, we had a pretty cool overnight.
Yeah, what was that? Was that a part of a group or something, or did you do it on your own?
We did it on our own.
Your own ghost exploring.
Just a couple
Yeah.
of kooks out there with
Yeah.
with EVP machines.
Yeah. So what's the verdict? Is it haunted out there in Mount Hope Cemetery?
I believe it
It's
is.
freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely freaky.
Yeah.
We definitely did have a battery drain though. At one
Yes.
point.
Well, there
we
you
did.
go.
Yeah.
Did you feel sudden
We were up-
cold
we were-
at the same time? Like,
No. I don't
nothing
think
like
so.
No,
that.
none of that.
No. No.
But we
weird
were up
ones.
on the hill. I don't know if it's called Mount Hope or what, but
Right.
probably.
The big hill that's in there.
And it was where
Yeah.
that's where they've started burying the
Right,
bodies,
yeah.
and there's a really cool
Yeah, it's the oldest part of the
steps that
cemetery.
go all the way down the front side of the hill. That's really cool too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are in Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Stephen King, when he was filming his scenes
Yeah.
as his cameo.
Yeah,
was
his
right there.
cameo. He was
Yeah, right
he was
there.
the priest in Pet Cemetery. Yeah, and I've actually stood on that exact spot,
Right where he
like
was.
with that movie paused on my phone.
Yeah.
and stood on that exact spot that he stood on. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like facing the road out front, facing the river.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's 300 acres. It's a big
It's huge.
It's a big cemetery. They say that like over 30,000 people
Yeah, and
are said to be buried.
Oh, and on the other side of the
intern.
road is the Jewish part,
Right.
and also the unclaimed part where Al Brady is.
From people who haven't been claimed by other people.
Right. Yeah, like remember Al Brady? He was a bad dude. But they actually claimed his grave site like 12 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Like they think, but I don't. They didn't really know where it was. It was unmarked to
Unmarked.
begin with.
Unmarked.
So unmarked for 80 years, and then
So now they've claimed his
they've
spot.
they've marked
They
it.
said they must have it plotted out someplace. You know what I mean? Like
they probably knew where he was.
yeah. They don't make a habit of. I mean, even back was that in the 20s?
Well, yeah, but they do lose people like that
Oh,
place.
absolutely.
That they lost an entire cemetery on Buck Street. It was just a park, and they started digging, and all of a sudden they realized it was an old Irish Catholic cemetery.
Well, on Ohio Street, where I used to live, Outer Ohio Street, when my daughter was playing out there, they found old caskets in the ground. There were skeletons poking up out of the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
So they
They-
moved some of the lots of the cemetery
Yeah,
over there.
they almost paved
a long time ago.
They
Yeah.
almost paved over it with the basketball court that's there, and they
Oh, yeah.
actually cleaned it all up and set it all back up
Right, I've seen
and
that.
everything. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was actually bones sticking up.
Remember,
out.
you and I found that one in Orrington that time when we
Yeah.
were treasure hunting.
Yeah.
We found that it was one that was the early 1800s.
Yeah, there was definitely.
And that was a sad story read from the tombstones. Remember,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
he lived to be 80.
Yeah.
He had 8 kids, and they all died before
died
21.
before.
That's
it
rough.
was like I think it was like 1810, 1820.
all the
like,
tombstones in that were very early.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
It
there
was a
were
really
even any
creepy
modern.
old,
I don't think there were
grave.
any modern.
No,
graves
there
around.
wasn't.
It was
And,
like
it wasn't marked at all
Yeah, it
either. We
wasn't
just
marked.
happened upon it.
And
Yeah.
there's all kinds of that old stuff out in the woods in Maine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's towns that have been abandoned and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lakes-
you can find
lakes
lakes.
over towns.
Lakes over towns.
You can
Absolutely.
find old roads and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
have people used to cut through the woods to get to other places.
Well, entire highways get cut off, like Ohio Street.
Like Ohio Street
was one of the main drags.
Right.
And
it used to be what Route 15 is now.
Right, and and it was for years, and you would have never thought that it would have been closed. Maybe Route 15 someday will be closed, and there'll be an interstate running across.
You can see
there.
where they took the bridge out. I mean, it's got both sides, just nothing in between.
Yeah, you come down through there in the Kenduskeag Stream Race. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, it
next
is.
month, right?
Yeah, April 20th, I think.
Just around the bend.
Yeah.
Remember when me and you did that sped? That did not end well.
Whew, that was not a successful launch.
We launched successfully.
Well, we went around the first corner, and that was about as far as we made.
And then we got
then
wet.
we were wet for the entire rest of the time.
Burr.
But we did finish.
We did.
Did we cross the finish line?
We did. It was
We did.
about 5.5 hours later, but we did.
Worse for the wear.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you were in rough shape.
Yeah, I almost didn't survive. Yeah. It was a state of hypothermia that I wasn't comfortable with. I felt like I was never going to get warm again, but I did.
Yeah, that water's pretty damn cold at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it still had ice floating around.
Yeah.
That time of year, right?
Yeah. There's chunks.
sometimes.
That's like low 40s, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
water.
43, 44.
Yeah, burr.
Anything else about the Mount Hope Cemetery?
Not
No.
really.
No.
Just that it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you're in the Bangor area. There was another one that I wanted to mention in Bucksport at Colonel Buck's
Yeah.
cursed tomb. Have you guys ever been there to check that out?
Yes.
I took my wife to see it.
Oh, nice. So if you're ever in the Bucksport area, or you're just passing through, there is a nice quick little stop off you can make at Colonel Buck's tomb, right there in Bucksport. You won't really miss it.
It's called Buck Cemetery.
Buck Cemetery, yeah. And
Bucksport.
Bucksport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which originally back from the story of this time was Buckstown, because it's about this respected judge in Bucksport, and he was also very religious, but he was also a respected man, and he had a lot of clout in town.
Very respected.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's enough to name the town after himself, and
Yeah.
everyone was okay with it, so...
Yeah, they didn't argue.
Yeah. So, the word had come around that this woman in town was a witch, and Buck, being so pious, decided to sentence her to death.
Oh, that's good of him.
Execution.
Very pious
Yeah,
of him.
by hanging and set her on fire and stuff. And all the classics.
The good ones.
Yeah, the good ones. And so, as she was dying, maybe, she said, "I curse you, Buck. My foot is going to appear on your grave, on your tomb, long after I'm dead." And that's basically the gist of the curse. I don't know why the foot.
I actually have an answer to that.
Yeah.
The answer to that is because they actually thought that. Well, one of the rumors was the child was Buck's child, illegitimate child. And it said that her leg fell out of the fire. And the child grabbed the leg and saved the leg.
Yeah.
Out of the fire, and then.
Is this a true story?
And then it was said that.
Do we know if this is a true story?
Well, I think if you look into it a little more, you can find that it's pretty easily debunked.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Really, there were no real witch burnings in America.
No.
Ever, from what I looked up. It's been played up a lot in the Salem witch trials and stuff, but there's never really recorded witch burnings.
In Salem,
Not saying that there wasn't, but it wasn't recorded.
Right. Did they kill... Didn't they kill witches in Salem, though?
Well, they had trials for witches. I don't think that they may have executed some of them.
Yes.
But I found later that there was something wrong with the water in Salem.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It had like arsenic in it or something like that.
And it made people sick, and it caused this group insanity where they all thought each other was witches and stuff. Yeah. But as far as like real witch burnings, that wasn't a thing in America.
No, that was.
Yeah.
That was the Catholic Church doing it.
And the over in Europe and stuff.
Europe.
Yeah.
They burned a lot of people.
Yes,
as
a
heretics
lot.
and stuff.
Yes, heretics. Yeah.
For anything.
That's got to be a bad way to go.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Burns
Yeah.
at the stake.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's quick.
No, I can't imagine.
I mean, at a certain point, your guts and stuff heat up and you die and stuff. But
Slowly
there's a point,
cook.
yeah, right.
Roasting like a ham.
There's a point where you're cooking, yeah.
I wonder.
Smelling yourself cooking.
Yeah, I wonder how
That
long
would be
it takes
nice.
to get to that point, though.
Yeah.
Not long. Not quick enough. I bet.
No. Well, let's pray we never find out.
Yeah.
And later, people found out, people who look at granite and stuff study, and they saw that it was just an imperfection in the granite. It is foot-shaped, though. When you see it, it's definitely...
Absolutely. It almost looks like a long stalk.
Yeah, long stalking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's kind of a dark tale to tell to try to get some tourists.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we burned this lady alive, so she cursed us.
Yeah.
And the story could have come down from,
And her kid grabbed her leg and saved it.
Yeah.
That's kind of mean.
There could have been obviously Buck was probably a real dude, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and actually,
I'm sure he was probably like a horrible person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and the stories came down like that.
But super pious.
Right, absolutely.
The monument, the tomb for him didn't actually go up until 50 years after he died. So originally
it's an obelisk,
there was,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of cool obelisks at Mount Hope, too.
Yeah, so it took a while for people to be like, maybe we should give him a something.
Yeah. I don't know if it was on there immediately when the guy built it and he showed up there and they're like, it's got a foot on it, man. And they're like, well,
what the hell?
That's the best we got for this asshole. Sorry.
I could make it over, but I'm going to have to charge you extra.
Yeah. Nah, we can come up with a cool story.
No, we'll just say it's
we'll say we burned this lady, man. It'll be good. It'll be good.
It'll be great.
It'll be our
all kinds of people will come see it.
Claim to fame. Put Bucksport on the map. So yeah, if you're ever driving through Bucksport, just remember to stop by Buck's tomb.
Well, it's Buck Cemetery.
Buck Cemetery. Yeah, right there in Bucksport.
Yeah. I actually have just a little fact on the oldest cemetery in Maine, which happens to be in Portland, and it's Eastern Cemetery, and it was built in 1668.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And it holds more than 4,000 graves.
Really? Are they still using it?
No.
Is it active now?
No.
1668, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pre-revolution for sure. That's
back in the
100 years
back in the Indian
pre-revolution.
Wars.
Yeah, you're talking like frontier, yeah.
Yeah, a couple hundred years after, first coming here. So,
right.
Yeah. And like I was saying before too, Vikings used to come here like 1,000 years ago and build their strange, monuments that they built and stuff.
Yeah, there was actually there's a story that they came to Spirit Pond in Phippsburg, and there's supposedly a rune stone there, and I've always thought it to be true, but that turns out to be a fake too.
Oh, a fake.
Yeah, that was a fake from the 70s. Yeah, back when they found the Kensington rune stone.
Yeah,
they decided that they would try to cash in on that.
Wow.
The Kensington rune stone, though, is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean that was found like 1873,
yeah.
and that was like in tree roots and stuff.
Right.
Right.
This one, there's no doubt that the Vikings definitely made it down this far.
Right,
I mean, they were great explorers. They made it.
Yeah, so it stands to reason that they came down through Hudson Bay,
right,
and all the way through into Detroit, and
why wouldn't they check it out? I mean,
they would have found it pretty easy, I imagine. I mean, other than the challenges of seafaring at the time,
1,000 years ago,
right? But they've already crossed oceans, you know what I mean? So rivers are.
Yeah.
Plus they were pretty BA.
Yeah. Yeah. Rugged.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can say badass.
Say it, man.
Let's not. We'll leave the censors out of this.
Yeah.
Now, you guys got anything else on cemeteries? No.
No. Probably be in one someday.
I think everybody makes it there at some point. I think.
Might not be a cemetery though.
Yeah.
You don't have to be buried in a cemetery.
Shoot me into space.
No, but we had a wicked cool plot.
Yeah. I got a plot for you. 3 lifelong friends in a shed.
Yeah. Yes, the plot of the most epic podcast of all time.
The plot will thicken like a fine syrup.
Always does. Syrup.
Yes, it's getting pretty syrupy in here already. So.
Yeah.
All right, so when you think of cemeteries in Maine, also another cemetery comes to mind. That's the Pet Cemetery, like we mentioned a little bit.
Steve.
Yeah, the Steve King. Everyone's
Stefan.
favorite Bangor native.
Although he was living in Orrington when he
Richard
was inspired by the road there for the pet cemetery, and there's actually a pet cemetery there that inspired him too.
To write that,
it was just an awful road that killed a bunch of pets. It was logging, they're like actually on the road to Bucksport.
Right.
It's
a logging road.
Yeah, it's where they bring all the wood down to used to bring the wood down to the mill before it closed.
And they fly down.
Yeah. And which is a lot of the premise of Pet Cemetery, which is actually in Orrington. I saw the address of the house in the movie that they filmed the outside of and stuff is at the 303 Point Road in Orrington. You can drive right by where they, filmed the scenes there outside.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Stephen King, very prolific guy. Everybody in the world knows Stephen King.
Kind of a weird dude.
Yeah, he's weird. As far as if you ever in depth read any of his books or all the scary shit he's put out over the years.
Twisted mind.
Right.
Yeah, he's twisted.
But he's a great guy.
Yeah. But he's not always in Bangor. I think he spends a lot of time outside of here.
Not a lot anymore at all. Yeah.
But there was times when there's definitely times when he's around.
Yeah, he still owns his house
still
in
comes
Bangor.
here. Yeah. He's definitely a big part of Bangor. A few of the things he's done is since the 90s, he's pledged about almost $6 million to the Bangor Library.
Oh wow!
So that's a pretty huge amount.
Yeah, he had a lot to do with the rebuilding.
Yeah,
that's a pretty sweet building.
I know. If you've never been to the Bangor Library, check it out because it's like really really nice there. It's got lots of cool stuff for kids and families and
all kinds of books.
Yeah. Perfect place to find books.
Microfiche.
And microfiche, yeah. And hopefully not, coming across dudes looking at porn on the computers.
So Stephen King was actually born in 1947, which would make him 71 years old.
Yeah. Getting along pretty good.
Yeah.
September 21st, to be exact.
A Virgo.
Is that right?
I think I'm a Virgo, and I'm September 3rd, so doesn't it go to about the 20s?
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
I'm not up on my astrology.
Happy birthday on September 21st, Steve.
Yeah. He also, in Maine, did the Mansfield complex, the sports complex, which was real cool.
And the pool there, the Beth Benko pool, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of the Little League World Series.
The Senior League World Series.
Senior League, yeah, that's what it is.
For a lot of years,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually gone away, which is too bad. But it was it was an international thing.
Yeah,
for
brought a lot of
years.
people to the area.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a lot of great things for, especially Bangor.
He's dumped a bunch of money into the university.
The university. Yeah. He's got a radio station. I'm sure that helps.
He owns several radio stations.
Yeah.
Probably owns several of everything.
Several of whatever he wants. There's no limit when you're as rich as Stephen King. I actually don't remember what his net worth was. Did either of you guys?
No,
he must be close to $1 billion.
A lot.
Yeah, he must be creeping up on $1 billionaire with all the movies and stuff. And
jeez, I don't know. I bet he's. I don't know.
Maybe not.
$1 billion's a lot of money.
Yeah.
High millions, anyway.
Yeah. Triple digits.
Yeah.
But $1 billion.
More than I'll ever see in my life.
Yeah. Let's see if he makes it to $1 billionaire. If you live,
Good luck, Steve. Enough. If you do, I mean,
look out, Mr. Gates. Here comes Mr. King.
Watch out for stray vans.
Yeah, they'll come flying at you.
Yeah. Ever since that, that's when he stopped coming to Maine, really.
Yeah.
When he took the van to the knees.
He bought that van after he
survived
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Like, this man nearly killed me. I'm going to pay for it.
I don't know what he did with it, but...
Probably crushed
I was
it.
gonna say he
Probably
probably
crushed it,
destroyed
yeah.
the shit out of it, or
I
either
am
that
Steve.
he fixed it up and drives it around.
He drives it around.
Pimped it right
This
out.
van almost killed me.
Yeah.
Now I drive it.
Cut it into a convertible.
He wrote under 2 pen names.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What is it? Richard
Bachman.
Bachman,
Bachman,
and Steve
Switner.
Switner.
I didn't know that last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switner.
I didn't. I've actually never heard that.
Huh.
No.
I found
His-
that in a little bit of research I was doing.
Yeah, his son Joe Hill is a writer now too, and he's done some pretty cool books that I've read.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
His
Yeah.
wife's pretty good too.
I mean,
I've never
never
read any of her
I've
stuff.
heard of him, but I
Tabitha?
didn't know he was
Yeah.
a writer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he wrote a book called Horns. They made a movie out of it with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah.
You see that?
I've seen the movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Huh. I
it was
didn't know
alright.
that's what that was based on.
With Harry Potter.
Yeah, we got it. Harry Potter. So, do you guys have any personal stories that have to do with Stephen King? Because a lot of times living here in
I
Bangor,
do.
you see celebrities. It's not like L.A. where you see celebrities all the time, but
Right.
Stephen King's our bread and butter for celebrities around here.
I saw Coolio at the Ground Round once.
Wow, that's a rare sighting.
Yeah, it was.
It's a
Yeah.
rare Coolio sighting. The elusive Coolio, if you will. I have a story. We were in a restaurant. It was actually West Side Restaurant in Herman.
What's that?
Yes. Shout out. It doesn't exist anymore. It's now Chase's Restaurant. But he was in there eating, and me and my mother were in there, and I ended up getting his autograph.
Uh-huh.
My mother went over and asked
Oh,
him.
really?
'cause
You got
I
his
was just,
autograph?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just a youngin',
Yeah.
and my mother went over and asked him.
Do you still have it?
Yes, I do. I have it tucked away.
Oh, you did? What did he sign it on?
A placemat.
Oh, yeah. Right, because he was right there.
Yeah.
At the restaurant. That's cool. Have you seen it recently? Check
What?
that out sometime.
No, I got it tucked away in
You
my
got it
file
tucked away?
cabinet in the
Oh,
shed.
do you? Yeah.
I have many things tucked away.
Yes, you do.
You keep on
In
moving.
many different sheds.
Sometimes you gotta tuck them away with like tape and pull stuff back and stuff.
How about you? Do you have a Stephen King story?
I do. Mine's not quite as wholesome, and I didn't end up with his autograph. So
Uh-oh.
I was at the movies years ago. Is when I met him at the old Bangor Mall Cinema. The
Yeah.
Hoyt's. Hoyt's. Yeah.
Hoyts!
Is it still called Hoyt's?
Hoyt Cinema 10, I believe so.
Is it? Yeah.
I think it's just Cinema 10 now.
Oh.
I don't think it's Hoyts.
They dropped the
Oh,
Hoyt's.
the Hoyts probably went out
Yeah.
of business.
Yeah. Well, Hoyt didn't know what he was doing anyway.
No, he didn't.
No.
Fucking Hoyt.
So I was there at the movies. I think I was seeing Fight Club. It was around the late 90s, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Fight Club. I'm trying to,
I
recall
want
it.
you to punch me in the face as hard as you can.
Yeah. So I decided I had to go to the restroom to go, take a break from the movie, and so I went into the bathroom real quick and ran up to a stall, and there was a guy a few stalls down. I didn't come right up next to him or anything because that's kind of
That's
weird.
weird,
Yeah.
Like knock on his stall.
Yeah. But I did happen to look over once I was standing there, and it was Stephen King. And so I was like,
"Geez, kid,
real
stop
quick,
looking at
I
my
was like,
face."
oh man. I was like, Stephen King. So I looked over, and without really thinking, I said, hey, Steve.
Of course.
I'm
you
such
did.
a big fan. Like, that's so cool. And he's like, and well, for a second, there was just silence. And I was thinking,
course.
I stopped to think to myself, wow.
What if his bodyguards come
Like,
out and tackle me?
I'm, peeing right now. I was suddenly very, very aware that I was peeing. I was like, oh man, I'm holding my penis. Stephen King is over there peeing, holding his penis. And so it was quiet for a second, but then, but he did say something. He goes, "Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it, but don't be offended if I don't shake your hand right now." I was like, "Oh no, that's all right." And I was like, kind of stumbled my words, and then he zipped up and washed his hands and walked away. And
He could have shook your hand after.
I know. I think it would have been more awkward to wait.
Yeah.
Wait
I
for
think
me
I read
to-
one of his stories that was kind of like that once.
But And then as I was washing my hands, I was like, oh man, he probably thought I was complimenting his junk or something.
So you had kind of an intimate moment.
Yeah, it was like
Mr. King.
we stood there for a minute draining ourselves. Yeah, so sorry, Mr. King, for that awkward moment back 20 years ago, whatever.
He probably
it was.
remembers it.
He probably does. That random weird kid in the bathroom.
During Fight Club.
During Fight Club.
That pissed with me during Fight Club.
Yeah. Well, who knows? It was both, nice memory and also one of my more humiliating.
Yeah. And probably one of his creepiest.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so Stephen King, he's, been doing a lot of good for Maine for a lot of years, so we're glad to have him. And
Thanks.
yeah, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, and again, sorry.
I do have one more random fact.
Okay, nice.
When he first started out writing, Carrie was one of his first novels. And when he started out writing it, he actually threw it in the trash. And if it wasn't for Tabitha pulling it out and riding him to actually finish it, he never would have finished it.
Which was his first one, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he said. Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Thanks, Tabby.
Yeah, thanks, Tabby, for picking up that garbage
I bet he
book.
appreciates it now.
Yeah.
when he's-
It just goes to show you that sometimes family knows best.
Right?
Yeah, thanks for pawing through the garbage. And
Yeah. Thanks for kind of stalking me.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
My manuscript.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so that's cool. Anybody, anything else King related? No?
Not Steve King.
How about King Kong Bundy? Yeah.
I do have something King
All right.
Kong Bundy
Then
related.
let's get to the coroner's report then.
The late.
All right.
Yeah, let's see who has passed recently for celebrities. Nate, you got
So you gotta put on the Depeche Mode and light some incense? Or?
Yeah, let's get
Let me dim down the lights a little.
Let's get real chill in
All
here.
right.
And
Okay.
gross.
All right.
Well, we we lost Luke Perry,
Yes.
a.k.a. Dylan Walsh
Yes.
from 90210. That was a sad one.
Uh-huh.
He was only in his 50s, I think,
Yeah.
early 50s.
Yeah.
Keith Flint from Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
He was early 40s, I think. Like he wasn't that old at all. Late 40s. I'm sorry, late 40s. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a sad
From
one.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
The Twisted Fire Starter and
Yeah. See, I
some
didn't
other
listen to a
ones.
whole lot of Prodigy when they were what? They were late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I didn't listen to a whole lot of them either.
and it
I
was.
mean, I know they were big in some circles.
And it's a real loud kind of janky techno sound
Yeah.
that was like really popular for a bit, but I don't think their
They
success
were-
carried on. I mean,
No.
I'm sure they still had a following later.
Yeah,
on, but,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
I mean, they had their few
relevant.
songs that I listened to, but
Just last night, Frank Cali, a.k.a. Frankie Boy, the head of the Gambino family, took 6 slugs in the chest outside of his house and then got run over by the truck.
Ooh.
The guy that shot him.
well, just wanted to make sure, I guess.
Yeah, double, triple, quadruple tap.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a hit right
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
Hey, they still pull those off like that, man.
First one since
Yeah.
1985,
Wow.
I guess.
Wow.
Well, other boss. I mean, it's probably
Right.
not the first hit.
No,
Right,
no,
because
definitely
hits
not.
still go on throughout the.
Yeah, man, I'm
the
glad I
name of
don't live that life, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a rough life.
Yeah,
Always looking over your shoulder.
yeah,
Henry Hill made it look good, though.
Never knowing if you're going to get whacked.
yeah, yeah. He's a good fella.
Yeah, he is.
Go get your shine box. Joe Pesci was classic. In
Yeah,
that
he
movie.
was.
Goodfellas, man. What a crazy little.
Whatever
dude.
happened to Joe Pesci?
He's around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing things, I
still
think.
doing things?
Little Italian things.
Like my cousin Vinny?
Yeah. But then also, on March 4th, we lost King Kong Bundy.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Yeah,
Good
the
guy.
wrestler.
Yeah.
He was a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, 458 pounds is what he was billed at, but you probably can't really trust the old numbers.
How big
Yeah.
was
Who
Andre?
knows what?
500, they probably
yeah,
said.
Yeah, he was a little bit
Yeah.
bigger.
And he was actually
6'4".
the main event. He was 6'4"?
6'4". Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a big dude. Yeah,
he's
but
tall,
I mean,
too,
if he's
yeah.
400 pounds even at 6'4", I mean,
Yeah.
he was the main event at WrestleMania 2 with Hulk Hogan.
Uh huh.
The Hulkster.
And actually, one cool thing was that the characters on Married with Children are actually named for him. I didn't know that. That was
Bundys.
cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the Bundys. Yeah.
And he was on the show twice as two different characters.
He was also on Boy Meets World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
He did actually quite a bit of stuff. He was cool.
He was a funny guy. I think he even tried stand up and stuff.
Yeah, he
like
did.
that. Yeah.
There's a lot of stand up crossover now.
Yeah.
A lot of people doing.
Yeah.
A lot of funny people. That was back when it was the WWF. No, when it was the WWE. Yeah. I mean, when they say that, I don't even know what they're talking about now.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was back in the days with
the old World Wrestling Federation.
He was back in the days with Hogan and Andre the Giant, like we said. And some
Jake
of those
the
other
Snake.
guys,
Vince,
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Rowdy Piper.
Yeah.
Vince probably. I mean, knowing Vince like I do. He probably didn't take that very well when he lost that and had to switch from WWF to WWE.
Right,
I mean, like
right.
he probably spent millions fighting that, and still lost.
Still lost. Yeah.
And I mean, Linda McMahon was running for senator. I mean, these people have some clout,
Right.
Not just on
right.
TV.
It's not just make believe.
WWE has branched into making movies.
Oh yeah.
It's become a bigger
and they don't
deal.
screw around.
No, it's become a heavier deal in different
Can't
production avenues.
Can't afford to screw around.
They probably can now. They sell T-shirts at $30 a whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got time to take it easy when you're selling $30 T-shirts.
Yeah, $70 sweatshirts.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Start selling T-shirts.
Official shed headgear.
Yeah.
Get it while it's hot.
Yeah. Well, look for that in the future.
So that was the coroner's report.
Yeah.
Poor King Kong Bundy.
What about Nathaniel Taylor?
I didn't see that he died. I don't know who it is.
From Sanford and Son.
Ah. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Yeah, had a heart attack. I don't really know who he is, but
Oh, he must have been the younger one.
he was
right?
80. He was
Maybe
80,
the
80 when
other
he
guy.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Of heart
other
attack.
one was old when the show was on.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it Fred
Sometimes
Sanford?
they, yeah,
Or
Fred
Ralph
Sanford.
Yeah.
Fred.
Was there a Ralph?
Maybe that was
Hey
his
there,
name.
Ralphie boy.
We'll clear all this up.
Rufio.
Yeah, so that's it. Anybody else you had, Treadwell?
No, that was it for me.
All right. So we got time for a few more things since this is our Made in Maine episode.
Yeah.
Thought we'd run through a few Maine facts that we've come across looking at this
Hit me.
episode.
I love facts.
And I am going to hit you with facts.
All right, do it.
Yeah.
Lightning round.
Maine is the only one-syllable state.
I
So
didn't
when
know
you
that.
go through look that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
It's also the only state that only borders one other.
Yep, that's right. You know what
Did I
state
steal
that
one of your
is?
facts?
No, it's
Okay,
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Do I know what state that is? Yeah. New Hampshire. I got it.
Ding 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 ding.
Yep. It does border Canada.
It does.
does.
Borders
Yeah.
a lot of Canada.
Yeah.
Canada's not a state
Yeah.
though.
We got to put.
They got provinces. Why
Yeah.
can't they just have states,
Yeah.
bro?
The French.
We need the wall.
Provinces.
We need the wall up.
Yeah,
in
that's
Canada.
where we need
Yeah.
the wall,
Yeah.
right? It's
Keep 'em-
Northern
yeah.
Aroostook
Yeah.
County wall. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
It's
about.
not the Mexicans we
Yeah.
have to worry about.
Keep them away from Sam's Club.
Good luck.
And Coles.
Good
Yeah.
luck with that one.
So it has over 6,000 lakes. So that's pretty decent for a state.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a lot
they
of-
actually
lot of
call
bodies of
Maine
water.
the Saudi Arabia of water
Wow. So it is-
because we
That's
have
weird.
yeah, that is.
just as much water as they have oil.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Well, we've got Poland
We
Springs.
got quite an aquifer, huh?
Yeah,
We
sell
have
it.
the most groundwater of any other.
Really? Well, that's good to know.
We sell it.
We do sell a lot of it.
Yeah. Not bad.
It's expensive.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
when I can get it out of my tap.
Yeah.
It's bigger than all the other New England states combined. Maine's
is.
the biggest out of the New England states.
It is a
and it's
big
big
bugger.
enough to
Because
fit the
only
road.
because we took
Yeah.
most of Aroostook County
Yes.
Yes.
from Canada.
Yeah, we're taking a big chunk of it,
Yeah.
dude. All right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
like Fort Kent and the rest of it, we're taking it.
This
Yeah.
is ours now.
All that trees and stuff. Yeah. we're gonna go ahead and hold on to that.
These
We're
are
gonna
these are
turn
our
it-
trees.
We're gonna turn it into potato fields.
Yeah. It's the birthplace of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the poet.
Good dude.
Yeah, wrote a lot of poems about Maine and nature.
Inspired a lot of people to come here too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of vacation. That's why it was like vacation land. Because like after he wrote his stuff, and Emerson wrote his stuff, like it was really like, let's get to the woods of Maine.
It became,
and there were like serious cool hotels. Like
let's get to the brass tacks.
Like up by Katahdin Iron Works, there was the Silver Lake Hotel, and there was one up by Sebec. And there was one on Kineo in Moosehead, and like with a golf course and pools. And
it became really fashionable to hang out in Maine and hang out in the woods and stuff. And have
they were like summer retreats.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Yeah, and so all the rich people in New York and further away and stuff
would and go fishing for trout. And they loved it.
Same thing happens now. All the out-of-staters.
Yeah, except now they're hauling 26-foot boats, 250-foot,
300-foot campers,
friggin'.
Yeah. 2 side-by-sides.
Yeah, side-by-side.
The LL Bean store, which was open in Freeport, was the first store to be open 24/7, 365 days a year. So stores had never really followed that method before until LL Bean opened up. And so then I guess you could go any day, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You could go on your mom's birthday, whatever you wanted.
I just actually found out today that LL Bean was named after a real person.
I knew that.
Believe it or not.
LL Cool Bean.
Yeah. LL Cool Bean. You know.
Our homeboy.
Another one I realized was the first naval battle of the Revolutionary War was in Machias back in 1775, just before we declared
lots of naval
independence.
battles happened along the Maine coast, and they marched up into Hamden, and they marched they came up the Penobscot, they came up the Androscoggin, they came up the Kennebec, they
coming from England is like the first spot you're going to get to,
right?
Unless you go, further, by going down.
Castine was a major stronghold,
right? Yeah. Which is named after somebody. He's a gentleman who was in the Frontier Wars.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which were just an earlier set of wars between the French and the Indians and the New England states. Yeah. It was at Mass, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, and Maine in the beginning, and that was in 1675 to 1678.
Yeah, Castine has been held like that. Like they fly a bunch of flags. I'm not sure how many. It might be 4. Because the Native Americans have held it. The French have held it. The English have held it, and the Americans held it. And Fort Henry's got a bunch of dead bodies there, and it's really cool.
The War of 1812.
Yeah, they burned a bunch of ships in Penobscot Harbor. Penobscot Bay, Penobscot Harbor.
Same thing, right?
Look it up.
Be more curious.
Yeah. So one last thing I was going to mention is no one really knows why it's called Maine. Maybe it's just because it's the mainland, or
isn't it like a French thing?
Well, I think the stance that the state has taken on it is that it was a ancient French city, but there's no real documentation on saying why they
actually named
why they actually said let's call it Maine. Yeah,
they were changing a bunch of names, like Corinth, what used to be Ohio. That's why it's called Ohio Street.
Right.
But they changed it like 1811 was when they did that. That was a few years ahead of time. But they were changing them all to like Greek cities.
Right.
Like they had
There's more fashionable
places, Levant, Etna, Dixmont. Those are all places.
And back then, all these small towns were their own separate units. You know? They all
had
had their own country store.
What you see as Corinth now, was 3 different town units, 4 different town units. Yeah.
Put together West Corinth, East Corinth, and then Corinth itself.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So Maine's quite a place.
We like it.
Yeah. We were all
I enjoy it.
Born and raised here, and
you have to put up with some cold winters, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah. It's a beautiful place. Worth fighting for.
Just ask Massachusetts.
All right, so if if you guys got anything else, I think we're gonna call it a close here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
All right. Special thanks to all the people who have subscribed and who are listening again, or if this is your first time.
Yeah,
of course,
thank
thanks
you.
for listening, and make sure to hit subscribe before you go. We were talking just before we started recording about some of the analytics of YouTube and how we can look at some of the stuff like
Statistics for the
yeah.
layman.
Yeah, and so we've been checking those out. It's pretty
Yeah, we've got almost 200 views this past week, and we really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of you guys out there, shedheads. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
Yeah, we're seeing a exponential type of rise each time we put one of these out. So let's try to move forward with that.
I think we're getting better and better at it each time.
Yep.
I am.
All right. So that's it, guys. All right.
Good night.
Thanks a lot, everybody. This is the Shed Sessions reminding you to be more curious.
Be more curious.
Later, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for listening.